Here's what it'll take to clean up esports toxic culture. Here we go. Amanda Cote, Assistant Professor of Media Studies, Game Studies at the University of Oregon. Let's see what your master plan is. In day-to-day life, you probably haven't had someone yell at you, "Get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich." If you're a woman who plays online video games, though, statements like this and worse are all too common. As COVID-19 has driven much of life online and fueled a boom in online gaming, harassment in these types and other internet spaces has increased. Well, yeah, when you have more people online, the potential for things like harassment will increase. Boop. 41% of computer and video game players are female, down from 46% in 2019. Well, maybe you should get better at the game. Ha! So, despite its digital nature, online harassment can have real-world consequences for victims, including emotional and physical distress. This has left online gaming companies and players scrambling for better community management techniques to prevent harassment. As a researcher who studies gaming, I've found that the right cultural norms can result in healthy online communities, even in the highly competitive world of esports. Look, one of the best parts of sports, any sport for that matter, is when you're able to talk to the enemy team and you're able to get inside their head a little bit. You know, maybe you're playing a game like Counter-Strike, you get to the halftime, score is 10-5, you're on the losing team, but you want to pick on two of the lowest people on the scoreboard on the enemy team, see if you can get in their head a little bit, get it to the point where they start fucking up. This is one of the greatest things. I mean, this has been going on since sports have existed. I don't care if you're playing baseball, football, tennis, or fucking darts. Shit talk is one of the greatest parts of competitive sports. The stakes are high. Competitive video gaming or esports now exceeds $1 billion in yearly revenue. Professional, collegiate, and high school leagues are expanding, especially as COVID-19 has decreased opportunities for traditional sports. I go to the park all the fucking time. There's a bunch of people playing basketball, soccer, even throwing a baseball around. How about quit being a little bitch and go outside and have a good time? COVID-19 is not that big of a deal. History of harassment, recent stories from the New York Times, Wired, Insider, yeah, because those are really reputable journalists right there, and others have highlighted how pervasive sexism, racism, homophobia, I knew we were going to get to this point, and other forms of discrimination are in online spaces. However, these issues are hardly new. Similar problems arose in 2014's Gamergate, which was started by somebody that doesn't even play video games. Wow. I didn't realize it was going to fire me up this much. Anyways, so 2014's Gamergate, Twitter-based campaign of harassment of female gamers, designers, and journalists. Sexism was also common before Gamergate. Oh yeah, because it would have totally started there. For example, professional gamer Miranda quit her team following sexual harassment from her coach in 2012. The coach, Eris famously stated that sexual harassment is part of the fighting game culture, and that it could not be removed. Well, I mean, that's kind of a shitty thing to say. I'll give you that one. I don't really think it's part of the fighting game culture. What I can say, though, is in any esports culture, there are more males than there are females. So naturally, when you compete against a female, the chances are significantly less. So it kind of gives more of an opportunity to be able to pick on them for certain things. Why? Because you're trying to get in their head, you're trying to get them on tilt, and you're trying to win. That's the whole point of competition, is to win at all costs. Others have suggested that anonymity of online game spaces combined with gamers' competitive natures, increases the likelihood of toxic behavior. Survey data from the American Defamation League. Yes, let's just choose the most far left of areas that we could go with. Suggests that at least 37% of female gamers have faced gender-based harassment. What a fucking bummer. However, positive online communities exist, and a study by lawyer and former Microsoft user experience designer Rebecca Choi found that anonymous online communities are not inherently toxic. Have you ever heard of this this one website that starts with a 4 and might end in a chan? So rather, a culture of harassment requires community norms that allow for it. This suggests that online bad behavior can be addressed effectively. The question is how. Let's hear your genius plan. Players' coping strategies. In my interview-based research with female gamers, I've found that players have many strategies for avoiding or managing online harassment. I don't know, how about the mute button? For instance, some play only with their friends or avoid using voice chat to hide their gender. So what's the point of us going through this? Other gamers get really good at their favorite games to shut down harassment through skill. That is the best way to do it. Now, not everybody has the ability to do that. I've played a lot of video games in my life. I'm pretty good at a lot of video games. This is why I can say about 90% of them suck. And I'm not even that good, so let's just be honest here. But anyway, so research by other media scholars such as Kishona Gray and Stephanie Ortiz has found similar results across race and sexuality. These strategies have significant downsides, however. For example, ignoring toxicity or brushing it off allows it to persist. Oh my god, this is just like the fucking fag article that we just talked about a few days ago. Pushing back against harassers often results in further harassment. You know, I gotta give it to you, Yahoo News. You give me some just beautiful content. Thank you so much. And by the way, that's not the white supremacy symbol. Everybody does that. Shut the fuck up and quit your bitching. Okay, so they can also put the burden of challenging harassment on the victim rather than on the perpetrator or the community. This can drive victims out of online spaces. As my interviewees gained responsibilities in their jobs or families, for instance, they no longer had the time or energy to manage harassment and stopped gaming. Oh, wow. So, yeah, when you get a job or a family, you can't really handle gaming too much. Sucks to have responsibilities, does it? My research suggests that game companies need to intervene in their communities to keep players from having to go at it alone. Look, I personally do not like censorship. I do not like developers and publishers intervening and acting like arbiters of truth. I do not like them acting like arbiters of speech. One of the greatest parts of the forums, of the games themselves, of the voice chat, of the text chat, is to just be able to say absolutely anything. And if somebody gets pissed off, then just grow the fuck up. As I said in my previous video, grow up. They're words. They're not gonna hurt you at the end of the day. And if they are gonna hurt you, if you're gonna be a little whiny snowflake, then mute the chat. Mute the chat and talk with your friends. Do what was suggested here. Mute the chat, talk with your friends, or prove through skill. And you know what? Even if you're good at the game, people are still gonna talk shit on you. There was a game I just played of Halo a couple days ago where a guy kept talking shit on me. And yeah, I had to go and cry for a little bit. No, I didn't cry because I'm not a whiny bitch. Look, he was talking shit on me, saying, oh, you're stumbling on your words, you couldn't talk. And I managed to get probably 6 or 7 more kills than him throughout the entire game. So I kept laughing back at him and telling him that if he wants to talk, then he needs to get on my level because he's clearly not as proficient as me. And he kept trying to talk shit, saying I stumbled on my words once. So even skill is not going to be the end-all be-all for people to stop trash talking. How about we just let people talk like they can do in, I don't know, real fucking life? How about we just let people talk and settle their score? You know, if they want to keep doing this back and forth shit fight, have fun. Have a good time. But now you have companies like Valve, you have companies like EA, companies like Ubisoft, companies like Riot Games, companies like Microsoft, and all of their games that they encompass, which is probably about 60 to 70% of the entire AAA gaming library, if not more. You have all these companies censoring because people don't want their feelings hurt. Social justice warriors have completely infiltrated the gaming community. A lot of it started with Gamergate, and it is absolutely disgusting. If you are just going to be a whiny bitch that people are saying mean things or flaming each other, maybe you don't belong on the internet. I'm sorry, but the internet is the place where you can kind of do these things and there aren't many repercussions. And this is kind of where the psychology of it comes in. This is kind of where a lot of people get pissed off because they're not ready for it. You know what? You want to have a fucking red pill? You want to have an absolute red pill to how bad the internet can get? Go on a place like 4chan, okay? Just go there, spend a little bit of time, and you're going to realize that anonymity is a very valuable thing. And you can say whatever the hell you want, you can do whatever the hell you want, and at the end of the day, you sign off, you turn off your computer, and you go masturbate for a little bit, and life is good, okay? So just stop whining. Anyways, so here's how companies can intervene. Okay. Game companies are becoming increasingly invested in community management strategies. Yeah, because that's totally what I would love them to do. Large publisher Electronic Arts, didn't I just fucking say that? It's like I know so much about this industry. Held a community management summit in 2019. Companies like Microsoft and Intel are developing new tools for managing online spaces. A group of game development companies even recently formed the Fair Play Alliance, a coalition working to address harassment and discrimination in gaming. It's important that interventions be rooted in the experiences of players, however. Right now, many companies intervene through practices like banning or blocking harassers. Yeah, because that is such a brilliant way to solve people's problems, is to just turn off their switch. And then they make a new account and they keep doing it again. For instance, the live streaming platform Twitch has recently banned several prominent streamers following allegations that they committed sexual harassment. Hey, Twitch, go fuck yourself. Do you know why? Because your rules do not apply to 90% of the prominent streamers on your platform. There are a multitude of females that get away with shit they should never get away with because it is in clear violation of your terms of service, but because they show enough cleavage and because they are female, you allow them on your platform. So if this writer is going to tell me that Twitch is going to be some sort of pious, valuable, arbiter of we know what's right to do when it comes to things like sexual harassment, Twitch are one of the worst examples for it because they are complicit in allowing this activity to happen. They are also complicit in letting certain people violate their terms of service and certain other people not. So Twitch has a lot more work to do than anybody else in this department. This is a start. No, I don't know what the fuck this is, but harassers who are blocked or banned often create new accounts and return to their previous behaviors. Wow, it's like I just said that. I should write an article on what to do. Blocking also manages harassment after it occurs rather than stopping it at the source. No, especially a game like Halo, for example. You can hear the voice chat the moment the game starts. And if you hear somebody saying something you don't like, you hit the mute button. What's the complaint? You heard 3 seconds of somebody doing a re. Okay, whatever. Thus, blocking should be combined with other potential approaches. Also, a multitude of these games have a setting in the audio settings to turn off chat before you get in the game. So where is the responsibility for people like the writer in this? I really think that the writer, let's go back and find her name again, Amanda Cote, assistant professor. I have significantly more knowledge about these video games and platforms than you do. I really think that I could do a much better job at teaching and at writing articles about this because clearly you've missed a lot of very key details here. And now I need to waste all this time telling it to my audience because you fail to do it. First, companies should expand the tools they provide players to manage their online identities. Many participants avoided voice chat to limit gender harassment. This at times made it difficult to compete. Yeah, because you're shutting out your teammates, the people you're supposed to work with, okay? And most of these games allow you to specify who you mute. So if you're in a game like Counter-Strike, 5 versus 5, one guy's being a prick, mute him. Where's the difficulty in competing, okay? And then there's also these wonderful features these games have, like, voting systems. What can you do with those? It is a democratic vote. By the way, we're in a constitutional republic. I don't want to get into that here. But anyways, voting systems function as a democracy in video games where it's majority rule, which is part of the reason that we're a constitutional republic. But anyways, we're not getting into that. So they focus as a democracy where majority rule is basically what goes. So if 4 out of 5 people on the team want to kick this guy, he's going to get kicked, okay? And that's just how it works. games like Fortnite, League of Legends, and Apex Legends, some of the worst games on the market today, however, have instituted ping systems, where players can communicate essential game information rapidly without requiring voice, which it depends on the game. There are some games where these tools are not valuable. You take a game like Escape from Tarkov, which is meant to be one of the most realistic type of first-person shooters out there. I'm sorry, but when you're in real life, you can't just go ping. It doesn't happen, so it's not going to work for a game like that. Similar tools could be built into many other online games. Reiterating what I just said, just rewind 10 seconds, listen to that, and come back to that statement. Another option, my interviewees suggest, you know what? Okay, Amanda, interview me for a little bit. Okay, let's have a little bit of one-on-one time here, and let's see if we could settle the score. Another option my interviewees suggested is to make it easy for players to group with friends. This shit's been around since, like, I don't know, the late 90s. You get a group of friends together, you all fill up a lobby, you just hop into matchmaking, and life's good. This has been one of the staples of online gaming, especially when Halo 2 came out on the Xbox, because prior to Halo 2 on the Xbox, the video game consoles barely had a lobby system. They barely had a voice chat system. And a game like Halo 2 really pushed the bar forward. It raised the bar for all these developers to show how powerful these platforms can be. So to say that we need to make it easier, this shit's been around for 15 years. Where the hell have you been? Oh, that's right, you've been in books. Okay, whatever. So they have someone on their side to guard against harassment. Yeah, because that's what people want to do in video gaming. You know, when somebody's saying, go in the kitchen, make me a sandwich, they want to have the white knight going, hey man, actually I really don't think you should talk to her that way. Come on, let's just focus on the game. I'm trying to get in her head. The whole point of me saying that is trying to get in her head so she sucks and so I win. And this is the whole point of competition. Stop trying to take competition out of competition, okay? Stop. Just back off. Let me do my thing. Grouping mechanisms work particularly well when matched to the needs of their specific game. For instance, in games like Overwatch and League of Legends, yeah, fantastic. League of Legends, Riot Games, one of the most censored platforms when it comes to speech and online gaming. Overwatch, Blizzard, they are so inundated and so focused on social justice that it has completely infiltrated their games, and their whole focus was to make gameplay the primary focus, and now all of the games suck because social justice infiltrated it. Congratulations, Blizzard. Congratulations, Riot Games. You guys have basically bent the knee to these people, given them everything they want, and now the competition in your games is hindered. Players need to take on different roles to balance their team. Abuse can occur when randomly assigned teammates all want to play the same character. Well, tough shit, okay? Not everybody can play first base. Not everybody can play shortstop. You know why? Because they're not as good as I was at shortstop, okay? Overwatch recently introduced a new grouping system that allows players to choose their characters, then be matched with players who have chosen different roles. This appears to reduce abusive in-game chat. Well, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Because if Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and all of these other platforms weren't censoring enough, why don't we just live in the book of 1984 rather than act like we are? Oh, that's right, we are living in the book. God damn it. Finally, companies should work to change their basic cultural norms. Why? Just why? Why should we work to change basic cultural norms of online gaming? For example, League of Legends publisher Riot Games once instituted a tribunal system. Oh, fantastic. Let's have like a court of appeals to go into that. Why don't we? You know what? Let's have a Senate judiciary hearing. Why don't we have a House judiciary hearing? Can we have at least a couple of traffic violations to go along with it? Players could view incident reports and vote on whether behavior was acceptable in the league community. The only time something like this is actually justified and warranted is when it comes to cheating. I don't give a single fuck at all If somebody in chat is typing, haha, fuck you, you're gay, I don't care, whatever. I don't care. And if you do, just get off the game. Like, honestly, because you are worse than the toxicity of that player. The fact that you are getting hurt by words, again, as talked about in my previous video, which I will even link in the description below to make this easier for the layman. Look, this type of incident reporting and voting system should only be there for cheaters. Did this person cheat? Yes or no? Here's the footage. Here's the evidence. Come to a conclusion. Let's have our judge, jury, and executioner on cheating, which is actually the plague in online gaming. Cheating is a massive issue that has always existed, always persisted, and it's just part of security on the internet in general, is the hackers are always one step ahead than the security professionals. It's this consistent battle back and forth that they have. And why don't we focus on getting the cheaters out, the ones that ruin the experience for literally everybody in the game? Why don't we focus on that rather than, oh, somebody hurt my feelings, okay? Because you know what? I would rather play a game where cheaters are not there and the possibility of a cheater is like 1 to 2%, and I would actually make a trade. I would rather have more toxicity and more people flaming each other in speech and less cheaters. I would be willing to make that trade because I can mute those people. I can't mute a cheater, and in certain online games, you can't kick a cheater. You can't force them out. So it is now wasting everybody's time, especially because a lot of these online competitive games have a penalty system where if you leave a game in progress, it affects you, and it might even have a cooldown of 30 minutes or 2 hours where you cannot enter another game for that period of time. So why don't we focus this energy on cheating rather than on somebody hurt my feelings? Nobody cares. You're playing a competitive game. Get over yourself. The whole point of competition is to compete. And if you don't want to compete, go play fucking Farmville. And even then, there's probably still a competition to be had. Although Riot Games unfortunately closed the Tribunal shortly after its release, then why are we talking about it? Including community members, and any solution is a good idea. Companies should also develop clear community guidelines, encourage positive behavior through tools like in-game accolades, and respond to ongoing issues rapidly and decisively. No. Why are game companies expending all of these resources? Think about it. They have to pay people, they have to train people, and they have to monitor, surveil, and become the arbiters of what is good and what is bad. That is not what I want corporations doing. That is not the position these people should be in. They should be able to put the platform out there, and as long as no illegal activity is taking place, they should be able to take their hands off and just say, well, go have fun. Get a couple frags, toss a couple nades, talk a little bit of shit, have a good time. They should, as most of these platforms have been doing for the past 15 years, they should include the tools to turn off chat, to turn off voice, to selectively choose who you want to block, okay? The whole overarching theme to this, do you want the system in control or do you want the individual in control? I want the individual in control. You should want the individual in control. This country was founded upon individualism, okay? Now, if you want to block one guy, if you want to block 5 guys, if you want to block the entire team, I don't care. Do it. It's not going to hurt me. But to suggest that these systems, that these corporations, you know, the ones that mostly the radical left are against is the corporations, and now they're saying they want the corporations to have more control. Well, you can't have your fucking cake and eat it too, okay? You cannot have that. Either you as the individual has the control or you relinquish control to the system and to the corporation. Have control over yourself and have control as an individual. Developers, provide the tools for the individuals to make this radical thing called a choice, okay? A choice. Let it be a choice on the player of what they wish to engage in when it comes to the online competitive community. Do not infiltrate and intervene and decide for the individual what is good and what is bad. This is why I no longer support Blizzard. This is why I no longer support Riot Games. This is why I am extraordinarily hesitant to support companies like Ubisoft and Electronic Arts, because they've decided that they should decide what's good for me. Fuck you. I decide what's good for me. That's why I'm playing this game. Back off. If esports continue to expand without game companies addressing the toxic environments in their games, abusive and exclusionary behaviors are likely to become entrenched. To avoid this, players, coaches, teams, leagues, game companies, and live streaming services should invest in better community management efforts in which they have the clear decision that we have at this point, Amanda, is do you want the system in control or do you want the individual in control? I want the individual in control. Everybody else should want the individual in control. If you get your feelings hurt by hearing a thing, then you have the, what's it called, choice to mute the thing. Don't let the system take control. Take control for your own actions. Take control for your own decisions. It was your choice to play the game. Now you get to make the choice on what you wish to hear. That's as simple as it gets. But don't go to these developers and have them waste time, money, energy, effort, and then shut down levels of the community more and more and more and more. Counter-Strike used to be awesome when you get to the halftime and you would be able to just talk shit for a solid 15 seconds to the enemy team. Instead of typing it in text, you used to just be able to be there on the mic and say whatever you wanted. And you know what was the best part of it? If people wanted to mute you, they still could. But now that the Counter-Strike community has bent a knee to the social justice warriors, that's no longer allowed. Halftime hits, it is dead fucking silence, and it is horrible. It is absolutely horrible that these companies are bending a knee. They already provided the tools to have the individual make the choice in what they wish to engage in. And now they're becoming the ministry of truth. God damn it, we are living in 1984. I gotta go.
Oh no. You hit him. He's gonna shoot the fuck out of you right here. You're gonna get dicked down, dude. You're gonna get dicked down! You're gonna get... Vent.
Bro, he's clearing A right now.
Don, he's clearing A right now.
He's clearing A, dude.
Are you guys dumb, dude? The bomb's down B main, you dumbasses.
No, it's not.
He knows that B A's open.
You picked it up, dumbass.
No, the
No,
bomb is
you
checker.
didn't.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
so stupid, bro.
You picked it up, bro.
You know what?
Bomb
Fine.
hasn't planted.
You picked it up, let's see. You wanna be this dumb, huh? How you
Oh,
want
you
to
better
learn
pick it
it?
up. Oh, good, dude. See, I gave you the comp.
Talk too fucking much, man.
I gave you the comp.
Sean, Diamond AK.